Have you ever wondered why your parents, grandparents, or even you yourself often wake up at 3 a.m.? No noise, no one calling, no bad dream. Just waking up and then being unable to fall back asleep. In the later years of life, when things begin to slow down, something as simple as sleep becomes one of the hardest things to hold on to. Today's video is a gentle whisper uncovering the 5 real reasons behind those restless early morning hours in older age. Not to offer a complete cure, but to help us understand each other better, so that the next time we wake at 3 a.m., we won't feel quite so alone. If you find it interesting, don't forget to click subscribe and like below to support the author and spread valuable lessons to many others. Now, let's get started. Reason 1. Melatonin decline. The clock strikes 3:15 a.m. Mrs. Hoa wakes for the 3rd time that night. The room remains pitch dark, eerily quiet, with only the ticking of the clock echoing in the stillness. She pulls the blanket up tightly, trying to close her eyes again, but sleep feels like a kite with a snapped string, drifting further and further away, impossible to hold on to. She gently steps out of bed, moving as if not to disturb anyone, even though there's no one else in the house now. In the living room, she switches on the dim yellow lamp. The teapot is still slightly warm from the night before. She pours herself a little into a cup and sits down on the old wooden chair with its worn armrests. I used to sleep like a log at this hour. Now I just wake up wide-eyed as if it's midday. She sighs and looks up at the altar where a photo of Mr. Tu, her late husband, sits. He passed away 3 years ago, leaving behind an emptiness in both the house and in her restless nights. She doesn't manage to fall asleep again until nearly dawn, but by just after 5 a.m., as the first rays of sunlight creep through the window, she wakes once more. Her body feels sluggish, her mind foggy. She knows it's going to be yet another tiring day, all because of poor sleep. That evening, Lan, Mrs. Hoa's granddaughter and a doctor at the city hospital, comes to visit. Over dinner, Mrs. Hoa shares her troubles from the past few months falling asleep early at 8 p.m., only to wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, unable to drift off again. The more she tries, the more alert her mind becomes. Lan listens with empathy. "Grandma, that's actually really common. Almost all of my older patients say the same thing. Really, dear, I thought there was something wrong with me." Lan nods and pulls her chair closer. Our bodies produce a hormone called melatonin. It tells our brain when it's time to sleep and helps us stay asleep through the night. But as we age, the amount of melatonin we produce drops. Without it, our brain doesn't know it should be sleeping. Exactly, Grandma. We still sleep, but the quality of our sleep goes down. We wake up more often. And the longer we're awake, the harder it is to fall back asleep, because there's just not enough melatonin left to lull us back. Mrs. Hoa rests her chin on her hand, a spark of curiosity in her eyes. So is there any way to help the body produce more melatonin? Absolutely. But it takes a bit of awareness and consistency. Lan begins to share a few small tips. First, light. In the morning, you should sit outside for about 15-30 minutes so your body gets some natural light. Daylight helps reset your internal body clock and encourages melatonin to be produced at the right time later in the evening. And at night, try to dim the lights and avoid watching TV or using your phone too close to bedtime. Mrs. Hoa chuckles. "I usually watch Kai Luang on YouTube until 9 p.m., then go to bed. Could that be the reason I don't sleep well?" Lan nods. "Exactly, Grandma." The light from screens slows down melatonin production. So after 8 p.m., it's best to turn off electronic devices if you can, and if needed, you can take melatonin supplements, but only with your doctor's advice, since it doesn't suit everyone. Mrs. Hoa slowly nods. Lan's words seemed to shine a light on something within her. She had always thought her broken sleep was from missing her husband from loneliness, but it turns out a large part of it is simply her changing body. That evening, Mrs. Hoa switches off her phone early. She picks up an old book, a collection of short stories she once loved, and reads under a soft yellow light. At exactly 8:30 p.m., she turns off the light, lies down, and doesn't force herself to sleep. She simply breathes deeply and evenly. That night, she still wakes up at 2:45 a.m., but instead of getting out of bed, she lies still practicing deep, slow breathing as Lan taught her. After about 15 minutes, her eyes grow heavy again, and she falls back asleep until 5:30 a.m., something that hadn't happened in many months. In the morning, she opens the window to welcome the early sun, feeling much lighter. A strange feeling rises in her heart. Hope. Sleep hasn't abandoned me. I just didn't know how to hold on to it. As Mrs. Hoa's story illustrates, the natural decline of melatonin with age is one of the key reasons why older adults often struggle with poor sleep. Melatonin produced by the pineal gland helps regulate our internal clock and signals when it's time to sleep or wake. With age, the body's ability to produce melatonin decreases, leading to sleep disruptions, lighter sleep, and frequent awakenings. Many medical studies have shown that lower melatonin levels are closely linked to common sleep disorders in the elderly. This also affects overall health, reducing concentration, weakening the immune system, and even increasing the risk of chronic illnesses. Understanding melatonin's role allows us to take simple, practical steps, like adjusting light exposure, maintaining a regular daily routine, and in some cases, using melatonin supplements under medical guidance to improve sleep quality. However, melatonin is not the only factor affecting sleep in later life. Stress, underlying health conditions, physical changes, and the living environment all play a part. That's why achieving restful sleep in old age requires a holistic view and a multifaceted approach. Reason 2. Silent stress and anxiety in old age. After following Lan's advice for the first few days, Grandma Hoa noticed some improvement in her sleep. But a few weeks later, the nights once again became restless, in a way that felt even more confusing than before. It wasn't just about waking up in the middle of the night anymore. Now, each time she closed her eyes, her mind was flooded with uninvited thoughts. One night, Grandma Hoa sat by the window, looking out at the small garden. The silver moonlight stretched across the bare branches. A gentle breeze blew through, carrying a slight chill, yet she still couldn't feel at peace. Worries about her health, her grandchildren, and the time she had left came crashing in like small waves, persistent and quietly overwhelming. She remembered what Lan, her granddaughter, had said about melatonin and how to improve sleep quality. But Lan had also mentioned another invisible enemy she needed to be aware of: stress and anxiety. "I don't think I'm anxious, dear," she had told Lan. "They're just everyday thoughts, nothing more." Lan had gently explained, "Grandma, at your age, anxiety doesn't always look like it did when we were younger. It's often quiet, subtle. It doesn't always cause panic or obvious stress, but it keeps your mind from resting properly. And that's what interrupts your sleep and makes it shallow." Grandma Hoa nodded, recalling those long nights when she couldn't stop thinking about her health, whether she still had the strength to care for her grandchild, or if her son was truly doing well, living far away. These small, accumulating worries had become an invisible weight she carried every day. And so, night after night, bedtime, became a silent battle between her and the endless stream of thoughts. On another evening, she lay in bed, eyes shut, but heart uneasy. She felt her heartbeat race, her breathing grow uneven, and her body tense up. The sensation reminded her of the days before her husband, Mr. Two, passed away, times when anxiety had visited, but never lingered like it did now. She quietly asked herself, "Why am I like this now? Is it loneliness or all the things I cannot change?" Meanwhile, in the living room, Lan was gathering her things to head home. She had spent the evening sitting with her grandma, listening and offering comfort. Chronic stress really affects your health, especially your sleep, Lan shared as they sat together. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises when we're anxious, and that stops the brain from relaxing enough to enter deep sleep. And in older people, anxiety doesn't always show itself clearly, like it does in younger ones, which makes it easier to overlook. Grandma Hoa sighed, but felt a quiet relief in finally understanding the mysterious feelings she'd been carrying. The next morning, she decided to make small changes to her routine. She began taking gentle walks every morning in the nearby park. Those slow, steady steps among the trees helped clear her mind. She also started journaling, writing down what she felt grateful for. Each day, even small things like a fragrant cup of tea or the sound of birds at dawn. One afternoon, while chatting with a few neighbors, she realized she didn't feel quite so alone anymore. These little conversations helped ease her stress and brought a sense of lightness back into her heart. Grandma Hoa's story shows us that beyond biological factors, like the drop in melatonin, silent stress, and anxiety, are key contributors to sleep problems in older adults. In old age, anxiety often hides in quiet, subtle forms, a persistent low hum in the background. This raises cortisol levels, disrupting the body's natural rhythms and making it harder for the brain to fully relax into deep, restful sleep. Medical studies have shown that chronic stress directly affects sleep cycles, making older people more likely to wake up during the night struggle, to fall back asleep and feel tired during the day. Early recognition and gentle management of stress through relaxation techniques, light physical activity, social connection, and a positive daily routine can significantly improve both sleep quality and mental well-being in the elderly. However, in the journey to reclaim peaceful sleep, Grandma Hoa still had one more challenge ahead, another powerful influence on sleep changes in the body's hormone levels. In the next part, we'll explore Reason 3, how hormonal changes, particularly around menopause, affect sleep rhythms and overall well-being in older women. Reason 3. Hormonal changes. Mrs. Hoa sat in the doctor's office, the afternoon sunlight streaming through the window and casting a warm glow on her slightly tired face. The doctor looked at her thoughtfully before gently saying, "Mrs. Hoa, you're going through menopause. Your body is experiencing many changes, especially in hormone levels. A drop in estrogen and progesterone can have a direct effect on your sleep." Mrs. Hoa frowned and asked, "But why do I feel flushed sweat at night and keep waking up, doctor?" The doctor explained, "When estrogen decreases, it becomes harder for your body to regulate temperature. That's why you're experiencing hot flushes during the night, which disrupt your sleep. Also, estrogen helps with the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that calms the mind and supports deep sleep. Without it, your sleep becomes more fragmented." Mrs. Hoa recalled the restless nights switching on the fan due to sudden heat, only to wake up drenched in cold sweat. She sighed. "How can I ever sleep well again?" "Don't worry too much," the doctor reassured her. "There are many ways to help. from lifestyle changes to hormone replacement therapy if needed. The important thing is to understand how your body is changing. At home, Mrs. Hoa picked up the phone and called her close friend Mrs. Mai, who had already gone through this phase. "Sister Mai, I've been suffering from constant insomnia, night sweats, and waking up exhausted. Is this all because of menopause?" Mrs. Mai replied warmly, "Yes, dear. I had the same issues before, but I saw a doctor who helped me adjust my hormones, and I also started doing yoga and eating more healthily. Things have improved a lot." Hearing this gave Mrs. Hoa a renewed sense of hope. She began reading books, doing her own research, and taking care of herself, following the doctor's advice. The decline in estrogen and progesterone in menopausal women, along with a drop in testosterone in older men, has a direct impact on the ability to maintain deep sleep. These hormonal changes can trigger hot flushes, night sweats, and sleep disturbances. These hormones play a key role in regulating body temperature and maintaining the body's natural circadian rhythm. Being aware of these changes and seeking the right hormonal balance can help older adults improve both sleep quality and overall well-being. However, hormonal shifts are not the only cause. Daily habits, living environments, and external factors also play a major role in how well we sleep. In the next section, we will explore the fourth reason, how our routines and surroundings can either support or hinder restful sleep in old age. Reason 4. Daily habits and living environment. Mr. Nam Now, 72, lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of town. Once an engineer, he was now retired and spent most of his time tending to his garden, reading books, and occasionally calling his children and grandchildren for a chat. But lately, his sleep had become irregular. The nights were restless and broken, leaving him weary and sluggish each morning. His son Min noticed the change every time he visited. The frown lines on his father's face, the dark circles under his eyes, and his generally low mood. One evening after dinner, Min gently asked Dad, "You keep saying you're not sleeping well. Do you know why that might be?" Mr. Nam sighed. "As soon as I lie down, I toss and turn for ages. Then I wake up in the middle of the night and just lie there with my eyes open. By morning, I feel drained, my head spinning. I used to sleep so soundly before, but now it's completely different." Min sat beside him, concern in his eyes. "Have you thought about any changes in your habits or your sleeping environment? Small things can have a big impact on sleep, you know." Mr. Nam reflected for a moment. "Yes, I suppose there have been a few changes. For the past few years I've been drinking strong tea after dinner. I often watch TV in bed until late, and sometimes I scroll through my phone reading news late at night." Min smiled gently and began explaining, "You know, tea and coffee contain caffeine, which stimulates the nervous system and keeps the brain alert, making it harder to fall asleep. And watching TV or using your phone before bed. The blue light from screens suppresses melatonin. That's the hormone that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle." Mr. Nam nodded slowly. "So that's what's been going on. I just thought it was because I'm getting old. I didn't realize those things were affecting my sleep." Min continued, "That's not all. The sleep environment is just as important. Your bedroom needs to be dark, quiet, and at a comfortable temperature, not too hot or too cold. If it's too bright or noisy, your brain finds it hard to relax deeply, which leads to shallow sleep and waking up during the night." Mr. Nam remembered, "I always leave the nightlight on. I don't feel safe in complete darkness." and it's never really quiet in my room. I live near a main road, and the traffic noise is constant." Min said gently, "That's probably contributing to your trouble sleeping. I've read about white noise machines. They can help mask unwanted sounds. And maybe you could try switching to a softer nightlight, something with a warm amber glow that doesn't disrupt melatonin." Mr. Nam decided to make some changes bit by bit. He cut out strong tea after 3 p.m. and replaced it with warm water or fruit juice. In the evenings, he started leaving his phone in another room rather than bringing it to bed. Min helped him install thicker curtains to block out light and bought him a small white noise machine for his bedroom. At first, the changes felt unfamiliar, and some nights were still restless, but he persisted. After a month, he found himself falling asleep more easily, waking up less frequently, and feeling more refreshed in the morning. One morning, when Min came to visit, he found his father sitting on the front porch, wearing a bright smile that hadn't been there for a long time. "How are you feeling now?" "Dad," Mr. Nam replied enthusiastically, "much better. I don't feel restless in bed anymore. I wake up each morning feeling lighter and more alert. I think these changes in habits and environment really do make a difference. Research shows that daily routines and the living environment play a crucial role in sleep quality for older adults. Caffeine can remain in the body for up to 6 hours, affecting the ability to reach deep sleep. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, leading to difficulty falling or staying asleep. Additionally, a sleeping environment that is too bright noisy or at the wrong temperature prevents the brain from fully relaxing, causing frequent awakenings throughout the night. Therefore, adjusting habits, such as limiting caffeine, reducing blue light exposure before bedtime, and creating a dark, quiet, and cool sleeping space, is essential for improving sleep in older adults. Reason 5. Physical health conditions. Mr. Nam is 78 years old and lives with his wife in a small house on the outskirts of the city. He used to be healthy and energetic always, enjoying gentle morning walks in the nearby park. But over the past year, he has been struggling with sleep. Long nights are spent tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep or waking after just a few hours. Sometimes he feels tired and sluggish the following morning. Mrs. Lan, his wife, also noticed the change in his routine. Gently, she asked, "Are you in any pain, or is there something that's been worrying you?" Mr. Nam just shook his head, though a flicker of concern passed through his eyes. In truth, Mr. Nam was grappling with common chronic illnesses that come with age. Firstly, he suffers from osteoarthritis in his knees and spine. The persistent, dull pain makes it difficult for him to shift positions in bed, each turn painful enough to wake him. In addition, he has an enlarged prostate, which causes him to wake several times a night to urinate. On some nights, he gets up 3 or 4 times, severely disrupting his sleep cycle. One night, after waking for the 3rd time, he sat on the edge of the bed and thought, "Why can't I sleep? I'm exhausted all day, but I lie here wide awake at night. Maybe it's time to get checked again." The next morning, he told his son, who sighed and advised, "Dad, you should go back to the doctor for a checkup. There might be something new going on, and maybe they can help you sleep better." Mr. Nam agreed and booked an appointment. After a thorough consultation and a few tests, the doctor explained clearly, "Mr. Nam, as I mentioned, your joint degeneration is causing pain that prevents you from getting into deep sleep. The enlarged prostate makes you wake up frequently to urinate, breaking your sleep cycle. We also need to consider other issues like diabetes or sleep apnea, which are common in older adults and can also lead to insomnia." Mr. Nam listened carefully and asked, Is there any way to improve this, doctor? The doctor responded gently, Absolutely. We can manage your joint pain with medication and physiotherapy, which will make it more comfortable for you to sleep. As for the prostate issue, we can consider medication or lifestyle changes to reduce nighttime urination. If we detect sleep apnea, there are devices to help you breathe more steadily through the night. After returning home, Mr. Nam began to follow the doctor's recommendations. He practiced light exercises to ease joint pain and adjusted his fluid intake before bedtime. Gradually, the frequency of his nighttime awakenings decreased. His body felt more at ease, and he began to sleep more deeply. He shared with Mrs. Lan, growing old isn't just about the mind, it's about the body too. When your health starts to wear down, sleep suffers and everything else is affected. Mrs. Lan smiled warmly. Yes, maybe we need to pay more attention to our health. Not just to live longer, but to live well. Physical health conditions, such as osteoarthritis, enlarged prostate diabetes, or sleep apnea, are all common among older adults, and all can severely impact sleep. Pain, frequent urination, or breathing difficulties disrupt deep sleep, and often leave older people waking through the night, or unable to sleep long enough. Proper treatment of these conditions not only improves overall health, but also enhances sleep quality, reducing fatigue and boosting emotional well-being. It underlines the importance of comprehensive care for the elderly, combining medical monitoring with healthy lifestyle changes. Aging is not merely about wrinkles and gray hair. It's a time when body and soul shift in their own unique ways. When you find yourself waking at 3 a.m., it doesn't always mean something is wrong. It could be the whisper of declining melatonin, the quiet weight of unspoken emotions. It might be hormonal changes, deeply ingrained habits, or physical illnesses your body is silently enduring. But what matters most isn't that you've been woken. It's how you choose to respond to being awake. Listen to your body. Gently adjust your habits. Seek medical support when needed. And above all, treat yourself with kindness. Because a good night's sleep is not just a gift for the body, but a precious offering to the soul in old age. If you find the video interesting and useful, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell below the video so you don't miss any future content. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoy this video, you can help spread these valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and create better videos for you.